Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of All You Need Is a Ball, where today I am joined by the one and only Mr. Lukasz Chwieduk. I think I said that right. AKA Luki, as we know in the freestyle football world. Welcome, Luki. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Cool. So we're going to continue with the series and journey around freestyle culture, and I'm super excited that you can give us some time because you've certainly experienced a lot from a young age on the highest level of the sport, and yeah, you've seen it evolve rapidly in the last 10 years, especially. I can remember meeting you in, I think it was 2009 or 10. It was in Prague anyway. I remember this very, very, very excitable little boy that came second in the competition, and everyone's like, "What the heck is that?" So maybe to start with, let's go back to then and maybe before then. How did you start in freestyle, and tell us a bit about your journey?
Yeah, so the beginning of my journey, let's say, was about the autumn of 2006. So I was just going out with the ball. Previously, I was just also going out with the ball, but I didn't know what I was doing. So let's say that these times where I knew that I was doing freestyle, it was about October or September 2006. So I was going out, I could see some, like tutorials of Polish football freestylers that have released like 2 or 3 videos, and they said that you could learn around the world. You could learn crossover, you could learn Nextel. So I was just going out and doing something just because I was, I'm from a small, not village, but small town, and there was not much to do besides, let's say hanging out with friends. And sometimes I had enough of hanging out with friends. It's nothing personal. I like to hang out with people, but I was just like, what else can I do, Yeah. I just found those tutorials, and I was going out of my, let's say, house, and I was trying, and as I could see that there was some progress, I was keeping pushing even more just to see what happens. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just going out, and I wasn't thinking at all. I was just going out, and that's it, So for me, it was like crazy times, because of course there was, these responsibilities that all the kids have. So, you gotta learn, you gotta study, you gotta choose your next school, you gotta, find out what's the thing that you like the most at school. You gotta, interact with people and stuff. So all those small kids, child's problems, or things that you had to deal with every day. But other than that, I also had this one thing that I was focusing at, and it was football freestyle, and I didn't think I want to be the best. I didn't think I want to go out and train. I wasn't thinking. I was just like, literally everything that I finished up was just second thing to what I wanted to do, which is kicking the ball up and down. And for no particular reason, like everybody that you could talk to, and I'm pretty sure about that has started about the 2005, 6, 7, there was no such thing as a great set of tricks. So there was not so many tricks that you could learn, but there was the tricks that you could enjoy, So you didn't set like a level 1, 2, 3 as it is right now for the challenge competition, for example.
Yeah.
It was just like a pure joy, because nobody was setting the bars, what level is what tricks. So we were just doing the tricks, and it got better and better and better. And then I just, started to let's say explore more tournaments, more competitions. First competition that I entered, I won, and I thought I was a tiny bit lucky, but also because I was enjoying freestyle that much.
What was that? What was the first tournament that you won?
Red Bulls Freestyle. It was Red Bulls Freestyle. In the first, it was the qualifiers in Poznań.
Yeah.
So the city, and the second, it was the finals in Warsaw. I'm pretty sure that I should have lost against Shimo on that one, But other than that, I was quite good at that tournament, and I was feeling the flow, you know. So I was really, really happy about what is going on. Nothing. I wasn't really thinking about the tournament. I was thinking about being on the stage doing tricks that I'm doing, you know, next to my house. So that's what was good.
I think that's I'm gonna sort of break your story up then, because you've mentioned some really, I think, critical parts as to the mindset of how people train and how people develop and become great at anything. Actually, it's not just freestyle, but you know, the main one there that really stuck out to me was that it's kind of no risk, no fear of taking risks. You're literally just doing it for the sake of doing it, almost just to occupy your mind. And you were going again. I remember that 2010 event so clearly in Prague, and everyone was just, you know, jaw dropped with the head rolls and the face rolls going on, that no one has ever seen this kind of fluidity and that beat that you hit every single time. And we're like, how, why, what? and it's probably because there was just no fear, right? And that's how more people can enjoy and push their barriers.
Yeah, actually, right now, I don't know why, but I'm still setting this tournament as my benchmark when I'm preparing for other tournaments, and I tend to forget what I used to do, because you have been, you know, you have been judging that tournament, so you are like all the time on the stage. But what I remember, this tournament took like 4 hours and a half, something like that, from the stage 1 to the final. Actually, I won that tournament. I remember that it was European champs. So it was against Clyde.
It was Clyde in the final. Yeah. For some reason, I thought Clyde had won that. Okay.
No.
So my memory is good.
So speaking of that benchmark, I actually, when I went off stage after every round, I went on the next to the stage, and I kept on freestyling. So I was like doing freestyle for like 4 hours. I wasn't stopping, you know. Somebody talked to me, I just smiled, talked to them, stopped talking, and went back to the training. And I tend to forget about that. I think that's what I have to do, you know. I just need to act, you know, because when you act, you just enjoy the act more of enjoying the, let's say, the outcome.
Yeah.
That you call.
Makes sense. And then one more point just before we move on is just about Poland in particular, because you've mentioned something that I think from the outside, I had a presumption that maybe that was the case, that there's lots of small towns, right? The way the country is structured, there's lots and lots of small villages and towns, and all the freestylers seem to come from these small villages and towns. There's not many in the big cities, actually. And it's maybe that's part of, you know, a motivating starting point. If people are living in the middle of nowhere or with minimal opportunities, you can immerse yourself into the ball and push yourself further. Maybe that's one of the critical factors.
Exactly. That's I think that's one of the crucial factors. Right now, it's changing a bit, because we are actually competing with e-sport instead of the sport. It's normal sport. I'm not criticizing it, you know. There's just another competitors, let's say, in the game of taking people's kids' time. But it was a critical factor that we had not much to do other than, you know, like explore the internet world and then try to implement this internet world into normal world, you know.
Yeah, love it. I'm going to find some of those links and post them below here, so please do check out some of Luki's videos after this. Okay, so let's carry on with that story. So we've gone past 2010 now. You started winning events. Where did freestyle take you? What's some of the best experiences that you've had in the last 10 years?
I'm pretty sure that you remember that, like from 2010, freestyle started evolving so much, and also one of the people that made it happen was you, because you were behind all of those projects that were called like World Tours, and all of the projects
whatever else we call them.
Whatever else we call them in the later on. But it was there was a lot of things happening. I was being invited to all of them, almost all of them, because I was keeping the same level. still. So that's 2010 was like kind of like a switch point, let's say, you know. So I was switching from just a freestyler to that professional freestyler that could make some money and could live at least for another couple of years from freestyle. So yeah, from that time there was a lot of tournaments, there was a lot of events. I'm pretty sure that you know that in 2012 there was Euro in Poland in football. So there was like crazy time because nobody had contact to us, and still we had our schedule, you know, fully booked for the next 2 months, which was crazy.
Amazing.
Because nobody had really, like, seriously, I had no CEO, like, you know, no search engine optimization for my website. I had no, you know, professional, let's say, offer and stuff. And I was selling the shows, the performances for tremendous amount of money, you know. Still right now, I'm making about the same money as before, and I'm considered one of the most expensive guys in Poland, if not expensive, if not the most expensive. So back then it was like tremendous amount of money, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, money comes, money goes.
Indeed it does, especially when you want to travel, when you want to experience new things and study, and reality kicks in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. What have been some of the most frustrating things about freestyle for you? What things have really annoyed you or frustrated you about freestyle in general?
I think it was, again, after that 2010, because then you had your dream to be number one, number two, to do something that others think is good at the tournament. So I don't know why, but it might sound strange, but after 2010 until now, I haven't been training as much as before. And I am pretty sure about that. Like, I'm not sacrificing as much time as I used to before. And even though I was trying, and I was really, you know, like going and spending 2, 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes in the gym or outside training, I wasn't fully focused on that anymore, because I was focusing on goal instead of doing what I could do right now, you know. And it's strange because you can read 1,000 books about that, and, you know, switch your mentality, you know, change your mentality. But when something stays in your head, it's really hard to, you know, just naturally change to what it was before, you know. So that is frustrating. Frustration comes from my frustration comes from like not being able to enjoy it just for the pure joy, even though I could enjoy it, but I was thinking about something in the future.
Right.
What it
so
might take.
So you changed your mentality, basically. You're saying that you tried to adapt rather than stick with true to being you.
Subconsciously I did, you know, subconsciously I did. So I was just like, where do I use that trick? Even right now, you know, when I'm going outside and training, even though I'm trying not to compete as much or not to compete anymore, which some people find strange, I'm like, okay, but I'm not doing that 30-second set. Why? You know, and I was trying to you know, like, put together tricks that make like 30-second set, but I don't need it anymore, you know. Why should I go out and make 30 seconds of freestyle even if I can, you know, do whatever, you know. So it's really subconscious. I think that's frustrating for me, that I'm focusing on something, like on the outcome, you know. When you're trying and repeating and you don't see the outcome, you're frustrated because you want the outcome already, right? You don't want to, you know, enjoy the tricks. It's so simple. It's so simple, really. But I'm pretty sure that you also know that the most simple things are the most complex and the most obvious and the most true, actually, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I remember the amount of training videos that used to be posted back then of, you know, the reaction to achieving something, the reaction to completing that that first lemons or whatever it might be for beginners, you know, was just that immense like outburst of energy. And you just don't see that anymore because it's like, meh, okay, next. If you can't do that for 30 seconds, it's not worth it. You kind of, and actually, to be very honest with you, that's one of my frustrations from our side has always been, I remember the very first conversations that I had with Lukasz especially was, how do we keep this real so people can be themselves? But if we all want to grow and we all want to go to the next level, we need to create some kind of structure, and that's kind of, and it's impossible to please everyone. But looking back, I think obviously, you know, any organization that is organizing competitions and rules and regulations, they have to standardize some things in order to make it understandable and realistic for the media, especially, and audiences. So, but it's become so much about the battle now that it's almost like, what's freestyle football? Because if you don't do it in a battle, what is freestyle? And that's what I hate the most now at the moment is, I want to try and find a way of reversing that trend now and saying, how do we do non-competitive meetups? How do we get people back to just loving the travel and the enjoyment of the ball?
Yeah, but you know, I'm not complaining at all. You know, I'm just saying that we gotta adapt everybody. You know, you as an organizer, you as a, you know, head of you know, of the, let's say, organization, and me as a freestyler, us as a community, we have to adapt. So since there is more competitions, we shouldn't stop more competitions because it's better. Sure. Yeah. So it just that we have, like, either you adapt or you just let's say stick to your mentality. And if you stick to your mentality, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means that you're sticking to your, let's say, rules or stuff. You know, I was adapting and I'm still adapting, I think. But speaking of this, you know, excitement and stuff, you're right about that. That kids used to have so strange reactions after landing some tricks. But it was really a pleasure to watch instead of tricks only. It was pleasure to watch the reactions actually, you know. So what I'm trying to do right now, because I'm also teaching some kids freestyle football and some, you know, like useful football skills. That's how we call it, you know. But for now, I'm trying to keep them apart from the community, freestyle community, for the beginning, for the beginning, just to see how they really react to what they do, you know, because then I can see like pure joy. I have a kid he's not a world champion, but he has done like 40 juggles. It was like before the pandemic, but he did 40 juggles when he was next to me, and I haven't seen him so happy for the past year, you know. Really, like, seriously. So I have to keep them apart for a tiny bit so that they enjoy it, and then you know, introduce them to the community. So I think that they have to make some, you know, like use some time to have the pure joy, and then we should invite them to, you know, take part in tournament. Like one of the guys, one of the kids I'm teaching, he was actually in Pomeranian Championship. Pomeranian district is a district in Poland. He was in Polish champs, as I remember, and he was also in Prague for the Super Bowl because he was on a trip with his parents, and he enjoyed it so much. But still, I'm trying to keep him apart a tiny bit from the community because I don't want him to be a machine, and I can see that works, you know. And I'm having that, and that's one of the things that I can relate to that you said before. So how I'm trying to keep my motivation as well is I'm actually switching my motivation into motivation of the kids, you know. So I'm trying to convert that joy, that happiness, that motivation, and I'm happy that they are happy, you know. So it doesn't always have to be you freestyling and you training. I'm pretty sure that when you organize tournament, when you make something great happen, you're really, really happy, and you smile when you see somebody smiling with you, you know. So I think people should also remember this, that it's not you only, it's also like the community that is upcoming. Is the kids, is the youth. How you call it? Youth.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you should enjoy the process of developing and evolving.
And that's what it is, right? You said the word adapting, but I think it's not. You can adapt, yes, but adapting for me means changing the way you are. I think it's more. It's evolving. It's evolution. How do you become innovative? How do you create new tricks? All of those questions, I think, come from evolving from who you are, so and where you are. So you're just literally trying, and you're adapting. I was going to say, but you're evolving yourself mentally and physically as new challenges come. So,
yeah, you're right.
But that's really interesting. I like your approach with the kids there, and because you've had that early success. I guess it's hard. One of the hardest things when I talk to other freestylers who have been competing for 10 years now, it's like, it's amazing because you were there at the start, so you've seen what it was like without any production, and you've seen the world tour production and RBSS and the biggest stages now. But as we all know as well, there's still not enough money to make this full-time competitively for freestylers. There's just not enough brands in the game yet to make the prize fund and all of that. So that's where you're going to miss out, but that's where you need to be working with the next generation as you are to make them ready for that opportunity, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good. So right, we're going to come on shortly to the next generation, because I know you're doing loads of really cool stuff with TikTok at the moment, and in Poland in particular. But one last part before we move on to that is I just want to again pay reference to some of the amazing things that I've seen you do, and in particular with your good friend Mr. Michlic. You obviously created. Are you still working on Fresh together, or have you kind of left that for a bit?
No, recently I was thinking about deleting that page on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we are friends. We talk to each other, but we are aware of the fact that it's not existing anymore. It's
okay.
Only in our heads.
Well, that's enough for me, because I think again these videos you have to check out just from the last 6-7 years of the two of you together. That's what it felt like to me when you were performing together in the doubles routine or whatever. It was like watching a training session. You were just literally, there was pure joy on your faces, and the stuff you were coming up with was again, people have never seen before. So that can only come when you're immersed and enjoying what you do, but with good people. So all good. Anyway, just wanted to credit that. Right, let's move on. So TikTok, tell us what the heck it's all about and how it works. And you've got 500,000 followers or so now, haven't you, on your channel?
Yeah, I think above 500,000, but it's like since you reach some goal, you stop counting how many. Oh, dziękuję. I've got coffee from my fiance.
Lovely, well done.
Yeah. So about TikTok, I just want to talk about this, not to brag or anything. I just want to talk about TikTok just to make people open their minds for the new things, because when you hear TikTok, and before it was Musically, but when you hear TikTok, you think, okay, lip sync, so trying to sing but without singing, and dancing, some choreographies with the dancing. But it's not true. Right now, TikTok is everything. Like whatever you think of is TikTok. I started uploading some videos in there because it's short videos for the Z generation, because Z generation is the main let's say group that is in there, and it's mostly women and girls. So it's quite interesting. But it used to be only dancing and dance trends and lip sync, because nobody could do anything, because the influencers or the creators were not the ones that are experienced or the ones that could do something. And right now I started uploading this for the past 1.5 years, almost every day. And I can see that it's evolving, because not only I am getting a lot of, positive comments, but I'm seeing so many people that are involved in freestyle, involved in dance, like different types of dancing. There's also like social media people that are teaching how to work out, how does TikTok work. There's people that are talking about how to be an actor. There's people like, you know, it's like with every other social media platform, like it's, again, it's evolving and it's making a lot of progress. And because of the pandemic times, what I have heard is that in the first quarter of 2020, the amount of downloads for the TikTok, it was over 2 billion. So they reached this goal, and it's really hard. Of course, they are like supported by the ByteDance. ByteDance is the not agency, but the company that is, you know, like being funded by the Chinese government and Chinese companies. So they have endless amount of money, so they can invest as much as possible. But that is good, because you know that the app is going to evolve so much. And why I want to introduce people to that app is it's because it's different type of video, but it's more interesting type of video. There's so many silly things in there. Of course, I can agree. There's so many things that you can call cringe or something, you know, you feel not so happy about having those, like seeing those people, you know, doing those videos. But it doesn't mean that you have to comment on those videos. You gotta create, because there is a community that you don't have anywhere. So there's people that you can create and transfer it into your fans, just because they are so young that they watch and they want to explore the world even more than the other people, you know. So I was like doing some service, and I was asking those kids, like, because mostly it's kids, so I can call them like kids or fans, you know. So I was calling those kids the question like, do you have Facebook? Do you have Instagram? Can you go and see my Instagram? Follow me on Instagram. And most of them don't even have Instagram, not to mention Facebook, you know. So it means that there's a big amount of people in every single country that we don't show our skills to, or we don't let's say reach out to, because there is no other app.
Yeah, no, that's a really, so okay, so focusing in on that before, because I know again you've got loads going on with it, but for me, like, what's the I guess the question most people will be saying is, what's the point? But my question was going to be more of, is popularity the main aim of this, or, as you alluded to there, is it, as I think it should be, a platform where you can popularize things? So, you know, for us, let's talk about the sport of freestyle. You know, we're basically not going to reach people in the same way if we're not on TikTok, right?
Yeah. No. You gotta adapt, and you gotta like change the way you create your video. So you need to, of course, keep it as short as possible, and try to implement a tiny bit of fun into the video. So it doesn't have to be 100% serious. If the video is 100% serious, it better be 4 revolution trick, which is like, you know, #1 thing right now that people are trying to reach with those hardcore freestylers. Because if it's not like top of the top videos, it's not going to get as many views. Kids are for it. If it's a bad thing, that's what
is having a channel and not getting so many views and not having millions of followers, is that a bad thing? Because people are going there for popularity, but
no, that's not a bad thing. It's just like you're gaining your audience, because there's, you know, of course, when you are a person that is doing sports, you're not going to get as many followers as a person that is doing, let's say, makeup, because more girls are into makeup than into sports or football, you know. So it's normal that you have less views, but you don't have to be 1 million, 2 million views in there. That is interesting fact, that everybody can be viral. And I have one thing that everybody should remember, that you should forget about your followers in there. I mean, you should have them and you should be grateful about them, but they are not the benchmark, because the accounts that have 1,000 fans, 2,000 fans can be as viral as my account, which means that is not the amount of followers does not state how many views you're going to have, because how interesting your video is is going to state how many views you're going to have. So I used to you know, like consult on some to some companies how to reach some amount certain amount of views, you know. So one company, they had like 500 followers. So I tried to, you know, like see what kind of videos they have, and I was advising them on how to change that very video that they were trying to post, and I was trying to see if it works, and they were reaching as many views as I'm reaching right now on my videos. So basically, for example, one of the videos was like right now 300,000 views, and they don't even have 4,000 followers right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it means that you don't have to focus on fancy in there. On Instagram, you have to. On YouTube, you kind of have to, but it's changing. On Facebook, it doesn't matter because it's a marketplace already. But yeah, you know what I mean. So, and one other thing is that if somebody thinks that this is a stupid and silly stuff, you have to ask yourself a question. If I upload something on Instagram, from Instagram to TikTok, is it going to get viral? The answer is 99% no, because it's not as interesting, not as short, and not as fun. But if I upload a video from TikTok that is viral to Instagram, is it going to be viral? And the answer is yes, because it's more fun and people seek more fun. You know, Instagram is great, but it's not as fun because everybody is used to just watching a person that I'm a fan of, not to watch a content that is fun. I hope you understand what I mean.
Yeah. So, no, I think you summarized it really, really well, because it's one thing that stands out to me more than anything else is it's personality driven. So you can really show off in a short amount of time. You can reveal quirky things about you as a person or people around you in a really fun way, which is ultimately what brings a smile to people's faces, which is what drives views, which is what drives likes and shares. So yeah, Instagram, as you said, has become very corporatized, and it's become very perfect. Like everything has to be edited and really clean, and there's no time for that anymore.
In TikTok, it doesn't work, man. If you do something on your professional camera, I have a professional camera. I invested. I have the same as Sven Phillips has. So I was trying to get really professional into TikTok. They don't care. So I started like I was like adjusting that camera to make that perfect shot and stuff. But if you're not a photographer in there, now I'm going to talk about this a tiny bit later. You don't have to focus on your stuff. I used to do campaigns for some companies on TikTok, and I could see other influencers being involved in that campaign, and I can see that their video was just being shot at home, like as I'm sitting right now, and they are not even standing up from the chair. They are like and showing the coffee, for example, and that's it. And that's the phenomenon of that, like if it's fun, if it makes other people think that this is either fun or this is like me, like you, because the kids and the fans also like to be treated as the same people as I am, what I mean? So I'm not above them. I'm not like number one people, as for example on Instagram. It's not like Instagram photos versus it's not Instagram photos versus reality. It's completely different. You gotta act and you gotta behave as one of those people. That makes you let's say number one person or the most popular person. For example, there's one example. There's this girl from US, Charli D'Amelio, and she is, I think, above 50 million followers right now as we speak, and she's the most popular person on TikTok. And she's not she's 15, 16. So try to imagine 15, 16, you're the most popular person on the app, like globally. And she is like a gymnast, but she doesn't show off the gymnastic skills, not much. So she's just like drinking coffee or drinking water. There's music, in the background, cut. 10 million views. And she also says, I don't know why it happened. She was on Ellen DeGeneres show, the late night show. She was on all of those shows that all the celebrities, all the, you know, hardworking people were going seeking for. And it's because she was just posting stuff, you know, and she was trying to act normal, and she's still trying to act normal. Nobody understands why she goes viral. She doesn't either, but she goes viral because she's trying to act natural. So there is a great thing that you have to just be natural and show yourself instead of this the better version of yourself, you know.
Yeah.
So you're going to get more views. And why you should get more views in there? Because I have been doing some research on the Chinese app. It's called Douyin, something like that. So actually, it's the TikTok, original TikTok, but Chinese TikTok. So they cannot see us, like the users from other countries, and we cannot see them as the users from China. But Chinese TikTok is the most developed app, and what they are implementing in there, they are trying to implement in other countries. So right now, in every other country, they introduce, for example, the ad system, so you can add yourself on the app. So it means when you're a company, you can, you know, pay that amount of money, and then first time you're opening up the app, there's 3 seconds of your video showing up as first thing. And what I have heard, the conversion, if you have a nice video, it doesn't mean that any video can work, but if you have an okay video, the conversion is about 50 to 70%. So 50 to 70% people click on the link that you have on the ad just because they are curious. And it's because it's just like the beginning of the ads, so the kids are curious. So if you're
curious,
so actually, you know, it's like when you're a company, you should start on right now because it's cheaper, because the ads are not as expensive as they are going to be in the future, and the kids are curious. So the conversion to one of the, I don't know, websites or the pages that you want to convert them to is big, you know. And the second thing, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I really cheer up for this, is that they have also in China social e-commerce in the app. So it means that all the influencers and all of the brands have their own page on the app, within the app, that that you can explore the products of an influencer or of a brand. And there, it's number one thing, because it's really hard. That is one thing that is really hard right now, to convert people to buy something, because there's links, but you cannot implement the links under the videos, which is making the things very hard. You can post it in the description, but they are kids, so they don't want to double click on something. And if it's like a website or just a page within the app or in the profile, you know, where you can buy stuff, I have heard that influencers are living from this only in China, from selling stuff, merchandise. So this is really, really, really great. And in the future, you can, I hope in the future, you can sell not only stuff, but also like services or something, you know. Why not? It's just evolving so much that you can, and for example, like if you don't see a point in having, let's say, freestylers getting into that, why not just upload stuff, post stuff, and have them, like the fans, just in case? Because if you want to keep on doing freestyle, you need to make money out of freestyle just to enjoy freestyle in the future. That's what I wanted to say as well, because you said about motivation and you know, trying to freestyle as many you know, as long as possible, but you cannot freestyle if you have no time for freestyle, because you need to make money not from freestyle, you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
that's it. It's one of the luxuries of the sport. You can do it anywhere, anytime, but the reality of everyday life kicks in usually after university for most freestylers. So yeah, no, I completely say bang on. So your services are up for rent, right? If people need proper guidance and support to get into TikTok, they can reach out to you.
I think they are. Yeah.
And just to clarify, you're probably going to start doing videos around makeup soon, right? Because that's the most popular thing for girls.
Do I need one?
Well, if it gets more views, then clearly.
No, but
Awesome.
Speaking of doing something different, like Dan, I can tell you that everybody, even if you are a person that is, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, everybody can find his or her own way of getting your fans in there. For example, you're a very knowledgeable person about marketing, interacting with people, how to reach out clients and stuff. And there you can, like, within 2-3 years time, you can gain some other, for example, people, other clients for the future, for the webinars and stuff, because you can release some 10 seconds, short 10 seconds videos, how to react or how to act or how to reach out to people, you know. And try to imagine, like, you're making a webinar with many people. I'm pretty sure that you have prepared over 1,000 presentations in PowerPoint for in your life. Easily. For the clients. You have had like thousands of calls, and you know that you have been spending a lot of hours on that, and you have hours of your knowledge, for example, right? And here it's just short video, which means that 1 hour of your knowledge can be divided into as many 10 seconds videos, and you have this for the next 1 year. Just one year of your 1 hour knowledge, you know? So it means that it's not as much work, and it's a lot of outcome if you reach out to the specific clients that you want to reach out.
Sure.
You know?
Okay.
So everybody can find his or her, let's say, interest in that, you know?
Okay. Well, you've heard it here first. You've just inspired me to get started. I'm on there actually, but I haven't done too much. I've just done some random things. So
okay.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I think I'll do that. And by the way, I've started training some freestyle after 12 years of working. I'm actually training as well.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. You wait. Big things are coming, or not. Luki, awesome. This has been really, really good. I've loved chatting to you. And clearly we could probably carry on talking for a few more hours, but I'm going to cut this one short for now, and maybe we can do this again and talk further about some other subjects in the future.
Yeah, sure.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you for
everyone. Yeah, sorry. Thank you for watching. Check out @Luki Poland on TikTok, not on Instagram. No, on any channel. I'm going to post all the links below here anyway. But yeah, again, thank you, Luki, for your time. And any questions that people have got, please let us know, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So yeah, in the meantime, stay safe, and yeah, thank you, everyone. All you need is a ball.